Hi everyone, welcome back to my page if you're watching. Um, my name is Christy and I make videos about moms and how we can take care of ourselves and get back to feeling like ourselves again after birth. So today I want to talk about postpartum depression, postpartum blues, or also known as baby blues. And I want to talk about this because I think that there's a stigma around it where women feel like they can't talk about it. Or personally, in my experience, I felt like I could talk about it, but I felt like I just wasn't being understood. I just felt like people didn't get what I was saying. I felt really alone. And I wasn't quite sure who to even go to anymore because people just didn't understand what I was saying. So, first, I want to say that I am not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I am not any type of professional. I'm just talking from my own experience with my 7 babies. And I just want to kind of like open up a dialogue and talk about it a little bit. So, like I mentioned, I am a mom of 7. My oldest is 14, my youngest is almost 3. So I had a lot of babies in a little bit of time. And my first experience with postpartum depression was after my first baby was born. She was born on time, 40 weeks. She was born on her due date. I had a really normal delivery. Nothing was weird about it. Everything just seemed really normal. And I went home from the hospital and I started to feel just kind of lost. Like, kind of like, what have I done? How am I going to take care of this baby? I didn't know it was going to be this strenuous. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And it went on that way for probably about 3 weeks, and then I felt a lot better. But shortly after that, 3 months actually after I had her, I was pregnant again. And I had my second daughter the following January, so a year from when my first was born. So my first was still not able to walk around. She was crawling around. She was still really small. And I had my second baby, and that was a really normal delivery. But something I noticed that was kind of weird about that delivery was that I felt after she was born, like directly after she was born, that I was almost disassociating. I don't know if any moms out there can relate with that, but I just felt like I don't really remember much about it. And that makes me really sad, because I, of course, want to remember the birth of my baby, but I just don't remember much about it. I felt like really stressed, and that was really difficult for me. That was a difficult transition from 1 to 2 babies. So I went home and I had a lot of help, but I just felt like I just wanted to run away. I felt like I just wanted to get in the car and just run away from life and not have anything to do with it anymore. I felt so much pressure, and I don't know where that came from, but I just felt so like devastated, almost like my life was just in shambles. That lasted probably a good 3 months that I was feeling really overwhelmed. And luckily I had a lot of family support. And so there's a lot of women in my family that help and that are loving and supportive and caring. So I'm lucky that way. I know some women aren't as lucky as me, and if you're going through that, I applaud you, because I don't think I could have done it by myself. After my third baby was born, I had really bad postpartum depression, borderline postpartum psychosis. I felt terrified of everything. I felt scared. I felt like people were going to break into my house in the middle of the night and take my kids. I was up all night, couldn't sleep, walking around the house, looking out the little door hole in my door, checking to see if anybody was out there. I would make plans in my head. What if somebody gets inside? How will I get my kids out? Where will I go in the house? Which window will I try to get them out of? And it really started to weigh on me a lot. And it was really hard for me to care for my kids because I was constantly panicked. Meanwhile, my husband still had to go to work. I still had to live normal life. And it was the worst time of my life. I'm going to post a picture, if it will let me, right here. This picture is right after my third was born, when I was going through it. And I was going through it. It was bad. I felt like paranoid. And nobody quite understood what was going on with me. Like, it was bad. I recommend, if you're feeling that way, that you go and see a doctor. Because doctors, well, first of all, I say doctors lightly because I think that there's a lot of really good doctors out there, but there's a lot of doctors who just do not understand. So my advice for you, if you're going through that, is to find a doctor who really, really cares, who knows what it's like to go through that experience, so that they can actually have the heart to help you, instead of just saying, like, oh, let's just, get over it and whatever, your mom now. So find a good doctor if you're going through something like that. I that's my recommendation. And so my 4th, 5th, and 6th babies were pretty normal. I had what I would call baby blues. Not really postpartum depression. I feel like they're different things, but just, it's new to get used to a new baby. It's tiring, you're exhausted. And sometimes I feel like as moms, we feel like the burden is on us, and that can be really, really exhausting. When you know that you're in charge of the bottles or the breastfeeding, you're in charge of all the diapers, you're in charge of the cleaning, you're in charge of the everything. And what I realize now is that during all of those pregnancies and births and postpartum journeys, I was going through a lot of anxiety. I felt like there was things that had to get done a certain way, or else that meant that it wasn't right. It wasn't getting done correctly. And so I would put a lot of pressure on myself to get these things done exactly the way that I felt, for some reason, that they should be done. But my 7th baby, there was a complete change. First, I'll tell you that I started on antidepressants before my baby was born. And I know that a lot of people are going to be angry about that because it's not always really good for the baby. But in my case, me and my midwife spoke about it, and we decided that that was what was best, that the medication outweighed the feeling that I was feeling, if that makes sense. So I started on an antidepressant, fluoxetine, before my baby was born. And after he was born, he spent a few days in the NICU, which was my first time experiencing a baby in the NICU, and my heart goes out to any moms who are, or parents even, who are dealing with a baby in the NICU, because I just feel that it was a nightmare. And we had great doctors and we had great care, but I just wanted to take my baby home. And I remember just feeling hopeless and scared, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and I don't know. It was really, really difficult. So my heart goes out to you if you have a NICU baby. But I realized that a few things I was going to change after this baby was born. So I spoke to my husband. I explained the things that were making me feel anxious, like my other 6 kids would be jumping around, and it would scare me near the baby because I would be on high alert of what if they fall on the baby, what if they hurt him. And so my husband was really helpful with that, just talking to him about that. But the next thing that helped so much, and this is partly why I want to have a community of women, is to share what I learned through this experience. I learned to let go. And that's really hard for women, I believe. But I did. I learned how to let go and just let it be. So I was never really able to breastfeed for longer than a month with any of my other kids. It just felt time consuming and ultra difficult. But with this baby, I decided that I was going to just feed on demand, and I was just going to relax about it. I wasn't going to make a schedule. I wasn't going to try to feed him when, make him sleep for 2 hours and then try to feed him. I just fed him on demand. And that really meant that most of the time he was stuck to me and we were like glue. But I learned how to do things with him being attached to me, and I learned to let go of the little things. So laundry can wait. Dishes can wait. There's no shame in giving your kids cereal for dinner, right? You can let things go when you're in this stage, because I know it's really hard. But letting go really saved my postpartum experience with my 7th baby. I didn't have postpartum depression with him. I didn't feel any kind of baby blues. I just felt happy. And I think that is attributed to the fact that I just decided to let things be. I decided to just let things be as they were and not try to change things. If my baby wanted to just, be dressed in a diaper and I could wrap him up in a blanket, you don't have to dress your baby constantly in cute clothes. You don't have to make sure that they have cute shoes on, and that, the important things are that they're fed, that they're clean, that they're changed, and that you're loving them. I put everything else aside. I just spent time with my kids and my newborn baby. I didn't have play dates. I wasn't trying to be super mom. I just said, you know what? I'm going to just do what's mandatory for right now. Do what's necessary and let my body rest. And that really saved me a lot. So I recommend that if you are pregnant now, you're going to have a newborn baby, learn to just accept what is. Realize what's necessary and what's not, because that's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of stress. So postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety and baby blues, I know that they are a terrible, terrible thing to experience. I've been there multiple times. I know it feels dark. I know it feels scary. I know that you feel like you've made a huge mistake, and not that your baby is a mistake, but you feel like you've taken on too much. And I know that it feels like it's never going to be better. But I'm here to give you a message. And that message is that postpartum is not forever. You will feel better. You will see a change. Things will get so much better in your life. And if you can just hang in there and just take care of you, take care of your needs, take care of your baby, and let the rest just be. And know that you're not alone. Know that so many women, I know so many women who have dealt with postpartum depression. And we know how hard it is. And we know that when you're going through it, you feel like it's never going to end. Like you just can't take it anymore. And it's always a good idea if you're feeling really, really sad to talk to somebody, because that doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you're really strong because you're searching for help for yourself. So I want to know, have you ever experienced postpartum depression? Have you ever experienced baby blues? If so, what do you think that other moms who might be watching can do to feel a little bit better? What advice do you have to new moms who are going through it right now? I really want this community to be an open space. I want us to communicate and talk and learn from one another as women, because I think that that's important. I think that what we're missing in this world today is, our mom village, where we have lots of moms who love one another, who leave politics and differences of opinions and mom styles and all of that, where we can just leave that over there and we can come together as just moms and just say, look, we've all been there. We know what this is like. Let us give you us moms who have more kids or who have been through it, or maybe grandmothers who are on here. Shout out to you guys. I want to hear everybody's opinions. I want everybody to give their ideas of what moms can do and what moms can stay away from and how they can help themselves. Yeah, this is what I want to do. So please leave your ideas down below, and let's get this going. Let's figure out how we can get ourselves on track to getting better, getting healthier, and like the name says, let's get our pink back, guys. Come on, we can do it. I know it. We can do it.